This might be the most explosive political drama of the year, and it has nothing to do with policy. In a shocking late-night move, CandaceOwens allegedly leaked private messages and draft writings that CharlieKirk wrote about his own wife. And the internet is losing its mind. Screenshots are being passed around faster than wildfire, with fans and critics alike asking the same question. Why would Charlie write something so dark, so personal? And why would Candace expose it now? Insiders are calling this a friendship implosion. These two conservative powerhouses were once inseparable, co-hosting, touring, defending each other online. But tonight, all of that has turned to ashes and the leaked material. It's not just embarrassing, it's emotional, painful, and downright shocking. It paints a portrait of betrayal, ego, and secrets that could destroy reputations and marriages alike. But here's the real twist. Candace didn't leak this by accident. According to multiple insiders, she wanted this out. She wanted the world to see who CharlieKirk really is behind the camera. And trust me, what he wrote about his wife will leave you speechless. Next, we dive deep into the dark history between Candace and Charlie, and how this feud turned from loyalty to pure revenge. It all started like every other collaboration between CandaceOwens and CharlieKirk, polished, professional, and politically electric. The two had built an empire of conservative commentary, hosting joint panels, rallies, and podcasts that routinely drew millions of views. To the outside world, they were a power duo, articulate, loyal, and fiercely aligned up. But behind that glossy partnership, there were cracks forming, small at first, but widening with every public appearance. Insiders say the tension had nothing to do with politics. It was personal, and it all revolved around Charlie's marriage, something Candace allegedly knew far too much about. For years, Charlie's image had been one of discipline and family values. He frequently mentioned his wife, Erica Francevy, painting their relationship as a beacon of faith and stability. But that image was about to crumble. It began with whispers, quiet, careful ones. Staffers from Turning Point USA allegedly noticed a shift in Charlie's mood months ago. He was distracted, they said, constantly checking his phone, snapping at assistants, and missing key prep sessions for live events. Some claimed he'd confided in Candace about feeling emotionally trapped. Others say she found something, an unsent message, a note, a draft that revealed what he really thought about his marriage. No one knew for sure until now, last weekend. Screenshots began circulating on Telegram and Reddit threads labeled, CandaceOwens exposes Kirk. Screenshots appeared to show excerpts of something Charlie had written in a private journal or email draft titled, Confessions of a Christian Husband. Text was chillingly intimate. It read, "Sometimes I feel like I'm married to an image, not a person. I preach about family, but I feel alone even in prayer. The woman I married is perfect for the stage, not the home." Within hours, fans began questioning whether the words were real. But then Candace herself posted a cryptic tweet that confirmed everyone's worst suspicions. She wrote, "People hide behind God when they're ashamed of what they do in private. No names, no context." But the internet connected the dots instantly, because not even an hour later, she posted again, this time tagging Charlie's official account. The tweet said simply, "You shouldn't write things you don't want people to read." That was it. No one could believe it. Candace, Charlie's longtime ally, had just publicly exposed one of the most respected figures in conservative media. And according to insiders, that wasn't even half of it. Multiple sources claim that Candace had screenshots of additional writings, entire pages of raw emotion where Charlie reportedly described his marriage as a performance for donors. One passage, allegedly recovered from a private shared drive, said, "She's the perfect wife for the camera, polished, beautiful, disciplined. But I miss being human. I miss being wrong. I miss being loved for my flaws." That single line went viral. People couldn't believe someone as image-conscious as CharlieKirk would ever write something so vulnerable, let alone have it leaked. And the question that began to haunt every fan was, why would Candace do this? Some said it was revenge. Rumors had circulated for months that Turning Point USA had quietly distanced itself from Candace after her controversial comments about political figures she once supported. She was, as one insider put it, pushed out of the inner circle. Others claimed it was deeper, that Candace felt betrayed by Charlie personally. A producer allegedly overheard a heated argument weeks before the leak, where Candace yelled, "Don't talk to me about loyalty. You don't even respect your own wife." Now, everything made sense, because what Candace had unleashed wasn't just a betrayal, it was an emotional nuke. She hadn't leaked policy, money, or strategy. She leaked Charlie's heart, and while Charlie tried to maintain silence, the damage was spreading fast. Political allies began unfollowing Candace. Influencers split into sides. Conservative social media became a war zone overnight. But what nobody expected was that the story wasn't over, because there was another layer, a first twist, hidden within those leaked writings. Something that made the world question whether Charlie's words about his wife were private, or a confession about someone else entirely. What Candace revealed next would send shockwaves through both political circles and Charlie's marriage. The night the leak went viral, conservative Twitter felt like a war zone. Screenshots, clips, and hashtags exploded across every platform. Hashtag Candace leaks, Charlie, and hashtag MarriageGate trended worldwide within hours. But it wasn't the content of the leak that sent shockwaves. It was what people thought it implied. Because those private writings weren't just about Charlie's feelings toward his wife. They hinted disturbingly at someone else. In one of the leaked excerpts, Charlie had allegedly written, "There's someone I can talk to who understands me without judgment. She's fire and conviction, the kind of woman who makes me question what I preach." That single sentence changed everything. Fans froze. Who was she? Was Charlie talking about CandaceOwens herself? By dawn, the theory had taken hold. Entire YouTube panels dissected the line like it was national intelligence. Screenshots of old photos, Candace and Charlie laughing backstage, sitting close at Turning Point galas. Appearing on each other's podcasts began circulating under captions, like, "Was it always more than friendship? Is this why she leaked it?" Candace stayed silent that entire morning. No clarifications, no denials. Just retweets of Bible verses about hypocrisy and truth setting you free. Each one felt like a jab, straight into Charlie's image. But the real explosion came when one of Charlie's own staffers anonymously messaged a political gossip account claiming that the leaks barely scratched the surface. The account posted a screenshot that read, "You haven't seen the worst part. There are draft emails Charlie wrote to someone close to him, unsent but saved. And the initials on those drafts are CO. The internet lost its mind." People immediately connected CO to CandaceOwens. Memes flooded TikTok within minutes. Clips of their past interviews were suddenly reinterpreted as evidence of chemistry, slow smiles, lingering eye contact, inside jokes that now felt too familiar. But it wasn't just fans spiraling. Behind the scenes, Turning Point USA's internal chat reportedly went into full crisis mode. One leaked message from a senior staffer read, but that 2-second frame was enough. Screenshots flew across social media like bullets. Every outlet from political to tabloid ran headlines like, "Did CharlieKirk write love letters to CandaceOwens?" Turning Point leadership melts down over private leaks. Within an hour, someone, possibly from Charlie's team, emailed multiple news outlets, calling the documents fabrications. But the denials came too late. People had already seen enough. By midnight, new screenshots appeared. A Telegram group with tens of thousands of followers posted what it claimed were 3 draft paragraphs recovered from Charlie's private Google Docs. The first one read, "I never meant to feel anything. You challenge me in ways my wife never could. I can't tell if it's spiritual or emotional, but it feels real." The second line hit harder. "You said truth matters more than image. Maybe this is my truth." And the third, the one that made even his most loyal supporters gasp. If loving God means lying about what's in my heart, then I've already failed him. Whether real or fabricated, the internet didn't care. It felt real, raw, emotional. Unfiltered. Political commentators started calling it the biggest personal scandal in modern conservative media. Meanwhile, Charlie finally broke his silence, or tried to. He tweeted a single paragraph that read, "I will not let gossip destroy what I've built. The truth will come out and those involved will answer for this." But that only fueled more chaos. People demanded specifics. Who's lying? Are the leaks fake? What about the email drafts? His refusal to directly mention Candace only made it look worse, and the rumors kept multiplying. One insider, a former producer, claimed that Candace and Charlie had fallen out months ago after a private argument backstage during a Faith and Freedom conference. Supposedly, Charlie's wife, Erica, had been there and walked out in tears after overhearing something she wasn't meant to hear. That rumor, true or not, added gasoline to a fire that was already out of control. By morning, Erica had deleted all recent photos of Charlie from her Instagram page. Every single one. Then, in a quiet but devastating move, she unfollowed both him and Candace. The silence was deafening. Fans begged for clarity. Churches postponed speaking engagements. Conservative allies distanced themselves. And one Turning Point staffer allegedly told reporters, "You can't come back from this. Not when God and betrayal are both involved." The scandal wasn't just about leaked words anymore. It was about broken trust, moral hypocrisy, and a friendship that had turned into an emotional battlefield. But as wild as the leaks already seemed, the story was about to get even darker. Because just when everyone thought Candace had gone too far, new recordings surfaced, ones that proved this feud wasn't about love. It was about revenge, betrayal, and something far more sinister than anyone expected. And those recordings, they were about to change everything. By now, the internet wasn't just watching, it was obsessed. Entire TikTok accounts had been created solely to track every movement in the Candace-Charlie fallout. Political news had officially morphed into reality TV. But the next development made the entire saga feel like a scripted, psychological thriller. Because late the next night, an anonymous email was sent to multiple journalists with the subject line, "If you thought the leaks were bad, listen to this." Attached were 2 audio recordings, allegedly from private conversations between CandaceOwens and CharlieKirk. Within hours, one of those journalists leaked the first clip, a 2-minute, muffled recording that sounded like it had been captured on a hidden phone mic. In it, a male voice, recognizable as Charlie's, could be heard saying, "I told her this can't happen again. I have a wife, Candace. We can't risk everything over a moment of weakness." A female voice, calm but cold, responded, "You weren't weak, Charlie. You were honest. But now you want to pretend that night never happened?" That one line sent the internet into meltdown. That night? What night? Within seconds, the clip was ripped, reposted, dissected, slowed down, and analyzed. Some fans insisted the voices were deepfakes. Others swore the tone, cadence, and pauses were undeniably real. Theories flew nonstop. Had Candace recorded their private conversation? Or had someone else leaked it to frame them both? Candace's team went silent. Charlie's camp denied everything, calling the recordings synthetic smears. But insiders weren't convinced. One political podcast host with longtime connections to both said, "That wasn't AI. That was 2 people caught in something they couldn't control, and now it's spiraling beyond repair." Then came the second recording. And that's when things turned emotional. It was longer, about 6 minutes. This time, the tone was different. You could hear Charlie's voice cracking, his breath shaky. "I can't even pray without thinking about it. You said I was lying to God, but I think you were lying to me." Candace's voice came through softly, almost whispering, "You think truth only matters when it's convenient. That's why I did what I did. So leaking this, exposing me, that's justice to you." Charlie snapped. "No," she said. "That's mercy. You needed to be humbled before God humbled you himself. The clip cut off abruptly after that. And just like that, the story wasn't about politics or gossip anymore. It was about something deeply personal: betrayal between two people who once stood together on stages preaching unity, morality, and faith. The fallout was instant. Within hours, Turning Point USA's board released a vague statement. We remain focused on our mission. Personal matters between individuals are being handled privately, but privately. Nothing about this scandal was private anymore. Major media outlets started running side-by-side timelines of every Candace and Charlie appearance for the past year. One viral TikTok exposed subtle clues: matching bracelets, shared hotels, coincidentally overlapping travel posts. It was obsessive, invasive, and unstoppable. And in the middle of it all was Kirk, Charlie's wife, whose silence was now being interpreted as confirmation. Then, a shocking development hit the internet like an earthquake. A post from Erica's private Instagram was leaked. In it, she had written a single quote from the Book of Hosea: "For your faithfulness is like the morning mist. It disappears with the dawn." Fans instantly interpreted that as heartbreak. Every news outlet ran the same headline: CharlieKirk's wife speaks through scripture. Behind the scenes, however, a darker narrative began to form. Several sources close to Candace claimed that she hadn't just leaked the writings and audio. She'd done it because Charlie's camp had betrayed her first, apparently, before the leaks. A group of conservative donors, allegedly influenced by Charlie, had pulled funding from a project Candace was spearheading. That project, a documentary about hypocrisy in Christian leadership. One insider said she wanted to expose corruption in her own circle. He took it personal. He thought she meant him. That's what started everything. But if Candace's goal was redemption, the plan had backfired spectacularly. By now, she was being called everything from a truth warrior to a Judas in designer heels. Some supporters praised her for unmasking false prophets. Others accused her of destroying an innocent family for vengeance. Still, Candace wasn't done. At exactly 10 p.m. the following night, she tweeted, "If God told you to tell the truth, would you obey him even if it cost you everything?" Then she posted a link to her upcoming podcast episode titled "Confession, Corruption, and the Cost of Silence." That teaser alone sent shockwaves through every social platform. Fans were convinced she was about to release more, perhaps full recordings, screenshots, maybe even the alleged letters themselves. But before that episode could even drop, something unexpected happened. CharlieKirk's wife, Erica, made her first public move. She appeared at a women's faith conference in Arizona wearing no wedding ring. Cameras caught her stepping off stage with a subtle, defiant smile, and while she didn't address the scandal directly, she closed her talk with a single chilling line: "Sometimes the devil wears a suit and holds a Bible." The audience gasped. The crowd erupted. And within minutes, her quote was trending. Meanwhile, Candace's upcoming podcast episode suddenly vanished from all platforms. The announcement post-deleted, the link dead. Rumors flew that Charlie's legal team had intervened with an injunction, but one anonymous source told Daily Wire Confidential Candace recorded it. It exists. She's just waiting for the perfect moment. And that moment, insiders said, would coincide with something even bigger. A massive drop that included video evidence from a private dinner where Charlie allegedly said things no Christian public figure should ever say. Supposed proof was already being called the final leak. And if it ever saw daylight, it wouldn't just destroy Charlie's image. By Friday morning, the story had detonated beyond the conservative world. It was everywhere. Mainstream media, celebrity gossip outlets, political forums, even late-night comedians were dissecting the implosion of CandaceOwens and CharlieKirk. Cable networks called it the most dramatic public meltdown in right-wing media history. YouTubers posted hour-long breakdowns with titles like "CandaceOwens just ended CharlieKirk's career" and "The love letter that ruined everything." Every corner of social media had chosen sides. On Twitter, hashtags like hashtag Team Candace and hashtag Pray for Erica trended simultaneously. One viral post read, "Candace didn't expose him for clout, she exposed him for hypocrisy. Don't preach purity if you can't practice honesty." Another countered, "She betrayed a friend. If she recorded him, that's calculated evil disguised as righteousness." The polarization was vicious. Even other conservative figures began to weigh in. Ben Shapiro tweeted diplomatically, "Both are talented voices who have done great work. I hope they handle this privately." But the internet wanted blood, not diplomacy. Tucker Carlson posted a cryptic meme of two snakes eating each other. Captioned simply, "Movement Unity." That single image drew millions of views and endless speculation about where his loyalties lay. Meanwhile, podcasters outside the political bubble jumped in too. Joe Rogan dedicated 15 minutes of an episode to the scandal, saying, "Man, imagine preaching family values on stage while your group chats are exploding with this kind of stuff. That's wild." Pop culture outlets joined the feeding frenzy. E! News called it the juiciest political scandal since Monica Lewinsky, while Page Six labeled it Christian. Power couple turned frenemies from hell. Fans of both figures began launching their own investigations. Reddit threads dissected handwriting samples, comparing Charlie's signature from book signings to the supposed drafts Candace leaked. Others tried to trace metadata on the audio clips to determine whether they were real recordings or deepfakes. Every new discovery aerial or fake spawned another conspiracy theory. But what truly shifted the mood was a stunning turn from within. Turning Point USA itself, a leaked internal memo verified by multiple sources, revealed that donors were reconsidering future support pending internal investigation. Translation: money was leaving fast. That memo included one chilling line: brand integrity is at risk if personal moral failures become synonymous with organizational values. The fallout wasn't just public, it was financial. Speaking engagements were quietly canceled. Invitations to churches were postponed indefinitely. And then came the celebrity reactions. Kim Kardashian reposted a meme mocking conservative hypocrisy with the caption, "You can't shout about morals while sending love letters on the side." Elon Musk chimed in sarcastically on X, "Leaking private messages is wrong. Unless it's entertaining." Even Cardi B couldn't resist. "Y'all politicians messy like rappers, but without the beat." The ridicule was brutal, but the emotional core of the story, betrayal, friendship, religion, guilt, kept audiences hooked. Then, just as things began to plateau, Erica Kirk, the quiet center of the storm, reappeared. She uploaded a black and white Instagram story showing her wedding ring lying on a Bible, with a single caption, "Truth doesn't need to scream." That single post reignited everything. Thousands flooded the comments, begging for clarity, others praising her strength. Screenshots of her story dominated timelines for days. Meanwhile, Candace was nowhere to be found. No new posts, no podcast updates. Insiders whispered she'd been advised to go silent as lawyers negotiated a settlement with Charlie's team. But silence only made the mystery worse. Fans began uploading compilation videos titled "CandaceOwens, the Woman Who Knew Too Much." Others accused Charlie of manipulating the narrative, calling his public image a sanctified facade. And yet, beneath all the noise, there were hints that something still hadn't been revealed. Small anonymous accounts began posting cryptic phrases like, "The emails weren't hers to leak. Someone else sent them first. Watch for the Sunday drop." The entire internet held its breath, because if those whispers were true, everything people believed about the betrayal, the leaks, even Candace's motives, was about to flip upside down. And that's exactly what happened. Next, because when the Sunday drop finally arrived, it revealed a final twist so explosive, so emotionally devastating, that it would rewrite the entire story and leave everyone fans critics. and insiders questioning who the real villain was all along. Sunday morning arrived like the calm before a hurricane, quiet, almost unnervingly so. After days of chaos, leaks, and live streams, social media was finally slowing down. People thought maybe, just maybe, the storm was over. Then, at exactly 11:11 a.m., an account named @TheRealWitness dropped a tweet that would break the internet all over again. It read, "Candace didn't leak Charlie's files. She was set up. Check the timestamps. Check the metadata. Attached were screenshots, real ones, verified within hours by multiple digital analysts. They showed that the leaked documents, the letters, and even the audio clips hadn't originated from Candace's devices at all. The files had been uploaded from within Turning Point USA's internal network. The internet froze within minutes. Hundreds of users began piecing together what it meant. Someone inside. That night, Candace finally broke her silence with a video message titled, "They Tried to Break Me." Dressed in black, eyes heavy but defiant, she said quietly, "You all saw what they did. They used faith as a weapon and friendship as a shield. I didn't leak anything. I was the leak." She paused, tears welling, then continued. "Someone I trusted sold my name to protect his empire. But the truth has a way of finding its own light." The video ended abruptly, but not before she whispered one final sentence that sent chills down everyone's spine. "The real story hasn't even started." Within an hour, the video hit 10 million views. CharlieKirk's accounts went dark. His organization locked down all comments. Erica Kirk's Instagram vanished entirely, and as the dust began to settle, one last encrypted message appeared on @TheRealWitness's feed. There are videos, too. They show everything. Drop incoming Wednesday. That single post reignited the entire fire. Fans flooded the comments with one question echoing across every platform. A question that still hasn't been answered. Who really betrayed whom? Because if those videos are real, the story we've been watching isn't over. It's just beginning, and that's where we leave it for now. The entire conservative world has been flipped upside down, and the rest of the internet can't look away. What started as a friendship built on faith and power has exploded into a full-scale scandal filled with betrayal, leaks, and lies. And the craziest part? The real evidence might still be on the way. The mysterious account @TheRealWitness has already promised a Wednesday drop, one that supposedly includes video proof of who orchestrated the leaks. And insiders are whispering that it could destroy more than just Charlie's image. It could expose an entire network of people who profited from the chaos. So here's the question everyone's asking now. Do you believe Candace Owens was framed by her own allies? Or did she play a deeper game than anyone expected? Was Charlie the victim or the architect? And what happens if those videos reveal that both of them were in on it from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because we're tracking every new leak, every update, and every insider twist the second it breaks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. Because the next chapter of this scandal could hit any moment. And trust me, it's going to be bigger, darker, and even more emotional than what we've seen so far. The truth is unraveling in real time. And when it finally comes out, it won't just shake politics, it'll rewrite everything we thought we knew about loyalty, faith, and power. Stay tuned, the next drop might just change everything.